A lot of idiocy going around at the moment when it comes to the coronavirus pandemic and the response. Some of it is just too hard to believe. I'll come to that in just a moment. First, I want to make an important point in the wake of the disastrous bushfire season. It wasn't the worst the nation's seen, but it was the most devastating ever fire season for New South Wales, and there were shocking fires in other parts of the country too. Will we learn the most obvious lessons, or will the climate alarmists distract us? I worry about this. Now, there have been smoke warnings around today in Sydney because of prescribed burn-offs in forests and national parks. These cooler months are crucial for fire authorities to reduce fuel loads close to settled areas. This is such obvious stuff. Bushfires need fuel and ignition, and they're made worse by dryness, heat and wind. No matter what the climate activists tell you, we can't control the dryness, we can't control the temperature or the wind, and we can't stop idiot arsonists or accidents or lightning from starting fires. So the only thing we can control is fuel, whether that's by creating fire breaks, by clearing areas of land around buildings, or by burning off hazardous undergrowth. Former RFS Chief Commissioner Shane Fitzsimmons told me on Monday this is a lesson too many people refuse to learn.
You're 100% right. People that are living in bushfire-prone areas ought not to be surprised when they're impacted by bushfires. And our research shows over and over again, even people in the highest risk areas, very few people actually personalise that risk and then actually go and do the meaningful things around their property, adjacent to their property, to help it better withstand the impact of fire and be better prepared in the impact of fire.
Now, we know we're prone to bushfire. We know some seasons are worse than others, and we know we've always had horror fire seasons and always will. And if the climate alarmists are right, they can only get worse. So we have to expect the worst and prepare. But look at what the Rural Fire Service told me back in January. There were a number of burns postponed and or reduced in size during autumn, winter and spring of last year. This was mainly due to the potential smoke impact on the Greater Sydney area. Potential smoke impact. That's right, people in the city complaining about smoke from burn-offs prevented them occurring. The RFS went on to list areas north, south and west of Sydney where these prescribed burns were underdone. Often they don't get the weather they need for these burn-offs, but sometimes that's because they worry where the smoke will go. I think this is just outrageous. To avoid smoke in the cooler months, crucial prescribed burns don't happen. And then we get horror fires, and by the way, choking smoke anyway, in the fire season. This is not just me saying this. Listen again to the former Chief Commissioner.
We know every year we try and get more and more hazard reduction done and prescribed burning done and other mechanical mitigation activities completed, but principally weather impedes our ability to do that. And then in more recent years, we're heavily criticised when we're trying to do that really important work because a byproduct of hazard reduction burning is smoke, and then smoke becomes a pollutant, becomes a health issue, those sorts of things. So there are very many competing demands, and it's important as communities, and I mean communities far and wide, that we have these discussions, that we socialise these issues.
We'll have these discussions here, all right. You'll hear a lot from climate activists trying to make political points out of bushfire tragedy. It's a pointless distraction. Fires have always been deadly in this country and always will be. We have to make ourselves safe. One important way to do that is fighting fire with fire, not stopping crucial safety burn-offs because people are worried about smoke.